Yo, what's up guys, Gray here, and today we have got our finals battle of the BBR Season 3. We're going up against MattOshea and his Montreal Milotics, who are a team who's just absolutely dominated this season, outside of Kyle A dropping. Matt's been like right at the top throughout the entire season. He finished 9-3 plus 32, I believe, for the regular season. I'll quickly just validate that. I believe he did. He had a fantastic season. 9-3 plus 32, which is absolutely absurd. We finished the regular season 8-4 plus 15, so only a 1 win behind, but we ended up being like 7 seeds behind in the playoff order. But that's just how close it was this season. Actually, it was very, very close season. And before we get into anything, make sure to go and check out every single coach that was involved in the BBR this season, because they are honestly just the best group of coaches that I've had the privilege of being in a league with. So yeah, make sure to show them all some love. The links will be down in the description below. Definitely go and check out my opponent, because he has had a fantastic season. Like I said, he has been pretty dominant. And so if you want to see some really high tier gameplay, make sure to go check him out. However, we still try and win this game. Of course, we try and win this one. We've done really, really well. I think, for my own standards, I think I've done really well to make it into the finals. And of course, we want to win. If we don't win, it is what it is. We've had a fantastic season, probably better than my own expectations. But if we can win this one, fantastic. It is getting quite late. We're meant to be battling in about 10 minutes. So I gotta make sure to make this team builder fairly quick. Also, it's about 2 AM for me, so I'm getting a little bit tired. I've had a nap, I've had an energy drink, I am fairly focused, but I'm getting a little bit tired. I'll try not to go on too many tangents during this team builder and during the battle, but no promises. no promises at all. But yeah, that's enough preamble. Let's just get straight into the team builder. My opponent's team is Urshifu Single Strike, Broken Urshifu, Raikou Metagross, who is the MVP of this season. I think there's no way anything can catch it outside of Raikou on his own team, and Raikou would have to get 5 kills to be able to catch him up. Swampert, Moltres, Cryogonal, Diancie, Thwackey, Haunter, Vullaby, and Charjabug. Super top heavy team, but also got some really good value of his budget picks, and I think that's part of the reason why he's done so well is because he's had such great value from his tier 4s, tier 5s. Also, he has just done extremely well with his top tier mons. Like I said, Metagross is MVP, Raikou is second. There really isn't too many things that are too close to those two, especially Metagross is 4 kills clear of the next mon. So yeah, he's used those mons extremely well this season. And honestly, his team terrifies me. We have a very strong team ourselves, but he has a lot of things that kind of can be a big problem for our team. Urshifu Single Strike, I think, is an absolute lock to turn up. Just because outside of Tapu Fini, our checks don't exactly exist. We can check things, if it doesn't run Ice Punch, then we can check it with Zygarde. If it doesn't run Close Combat, we can check it with Heatran. If for whatever reason it's not running Wicked Blow, we can check it with Slowking. However, I expect at least some of those moves to come this week. U-turn is a nice pivoting move and really caused my team some issues, because you can pivot quite easily between things like Urshifu, Swampert, Moltres, Raikou, even a Thwackey as well, and a Charjabug. All of them can just pivot around and cause my teams issues. So I just got to be really careful and not giving away too much momentum. And I think my build kind of helps with that, but we'll get into that in a bit. Raikou, I think, has a decent matchup. It's not necessarily the best matchup it's had all season, but I wouldn't be surprised if it turns up just as a way of constantly forcing out my Tapu Fini. But I think he may have other ways that he tries to deal with that. Metagross, honestly, this thing could come to any game, because it's just been so good for him this season. And there's a plethora of sets that it could run. There's a few that I think are probably going to be better than others against my team, but we're just going to have to see where we go with Metagross if it turns up. Swampert is really nice as a specially defensive check to my team. Moltres is really nice as a physical defensive check to my team, so I do expect those two to turn up this game. Cryogonal can be surprisingly annoying for us. Things like Zygarde, Tapu Fini, Rote and Fan don't really appreciate switching into or having to deal with Cryogonal. So it can be very annoying, especially because we may well be bringing like at least 2 of those, like Zygarde and Tapu Fini are 2 of our top tier mons. It also is very good against Decidueye. It has Water Pulse for the Heatran as well. So unlike week 1 where we fell for Kyle and his Water Pulse Vanillux, I know Cryogonal gets it. I'm not falling for it again. Diancie actually has a surprisingly good and bad matchup at the same time. Its dual stabs are very good in this game, plus Earth Power really does kind of put in a lot of work against our team. Stealth Rocks are just annoying, because honestly our removal options for this game in particular are not incredible. Thwackey could turn up as a defensive check to my Zygarde. It's also a good switch into Tapu Fini, things like Decidueye if I'm not running the flying coverage. Pretty good against Lycanroc as well, being able to Grassy Glide that. So Thwackey I think has a strong chance of showing up in this game. Haunter actually isn't bad here. Haunter's coverage means that it can actually hit a lot of my top things for good damage. It can be a way of potentially breaking through my Galarian Slowking, which is quite annoying for me. I don't have great switch-ins to it, so like one good read and he could potentially pick up a KO with Haunter quite easily. Vullaby I think is probably the least likely member on his team to turn up, but I'm not counting it out. It could be a good defensive check or like defensive pivot to certain things on my team. And Chargebug can absolutely turn up to this game just because Sticky Web could be really, really annoying for us. He does have a slower team than us, so it's entirely possible that Chargebug turns up just to set up Sticky Web. Plus it also can switch into the Tapu Fini, and it can switch into Zygarde alright as well. So there's a chance that Chargebug turns up. I would expect it to be like 3 attacks Sticky Web. It could run Toxic, but I don't think that's its best set in this game. I think just Sticky Web Volt Switch is all he kind of needs, and everything else is just extra. Possibly like Crunch, I guess. But yeah, looking at this, honestly, like all of his team, apart from I think maybe Vullaby, are viable options in this game. So yeah, lots of things that we had to prepare for. I think Urshifu, Swampert, Moltres are absolute locks. I think that Thwackey and Metagross are strong chances, and then I would say everything else is a potential outside of maybe Vullaby. If Vullaby turns up, we do have our ways of dealing with it, but yeah, it's Vullaby. I think there's definitely more threatening things to my team than that. So getting into this. Get into our team. First up we have got our Heatran with the Power Herb, running Modest Nature with Flame Body, Magma Storm, Solar Beam, Ancient Power and Substitute. This is quite obvious bait, but it is bait for Swampert to switch in. Magma Storm, if we connect, and that's a big if we connect, we'll do enough damage that Solar Beam, even if it's Rindo Berry, will not be able to take Swampert will not be able to take it. It will not be able to switch out unless it is like Scarf Flip Turn. We have enough speed on this to be able to outspeed a speed creep of anything that's trying to speed creep max speed Pangoro. You'll find that with a couple of my mons. I've actually got that speed creep. Sub is just there as like another option. I think Magma Storm into Solar Beam doesn't kill if it's like a Spadef, like max Spadef Swampert. So if that's the case, then I kind of just like a sub, because either he goes for Earthquake or he goes for Flip Turn, and if he Flip Turns then we can do the same thing again, and then the next time we actually do pick up the KO with Solar Beam. If we see leftovers or anything like that, then we know we can click the Solar Beam fairly freely, as long as we trap it with Magma Storm. If we don't trap it, then I'm less inclined to want to click the Solar Beam. Its other best switch-ins are like the Diancie and the Moltres. And so yeah, Solar Beam does hit the Diancie if we need to. I would rather switch out against Diancie. I think we've got better ways of dealing with it. Solar Beam is an option should we need it. Ancient Power hits the Moltres for 4 times effective damage, and considering I expect it to be physically defensive, I think that Ancient Power should be easily picking up a 2-hit KO on it. And if it's running speed creep that I kind of expect, or I'm hoping for at least, is to outspeed max speed Pangoro, then we should be able to outspeed it into a KO with Ancient Power without too much issue. So Heatran is really just kind of here to fill that role of hopefully breaking through his defensive core, and if we can do that, we should be actually in a really good spot. Next up we've got our Tapu Fini with the Rocky Helmet. Once again we are running Telepathy instead of Misty Surge. I didn't see too much value in Misty Surge this week. Sure, it's nice in case like it's Flame Body Moltres, just to be able to avoid getting burned. But the way my team kind of works this week, it's not the end of the world. And unless he's running like Toxic on things like Metagross, Swampert, or Raikou, I think it's probably going to be a case of like it's not the end of the world. Thwackey can definitely run Toxic as well. Sorry, can't run Toxic because it's an 8th Gen mon. If Thwackey's Grassy Surge is up, then it negates my Misty Surge anyway. And so I'd rather just have Telepathy to be able to use my set, which is going to be Skull, Draining Kiss, Rest Talk, and Sleep. Rest and Sleep Talk would be what I was meant to say. This is obviously my switch into Urshifu. It does double as a switch into things like the Swampert, the Moltres. Later on in the game, if the Urshifu is weakened, then I can switch it into the Diancie and maybe the Metagross as well. But that's like the last thing I want to do is be able to switch it in on those. So Scald is nice to burn things like Metagross and potentially the Swampert. Just because Swampert could run a bulk up set. The set that I kind of expect him to bring is a Resto Chesto bulk up Earthquake Ice Punch set. So that's going to be the biggest problem to our team. Pretty much like that, and maybe like a weakness policy agility Metagross is an issue. So yeah, we need to play around them accordingly. But yeah, our Tapu Fini is really here just fully, like almost fully physically defensive to be able to take 2 choice banded poison jabs. We don't take 2 very well after rocks, but with the Rocky Helmet it is going to be doing a significant amount of damage to itself. And if he decides to try and keep momentum and just click U-turn every time, like on the initial switch, then he's going to be taking more damage than I'm going to be taking from that. And if he puts into Raikou, then I can go into a different mon on my team and kind of just go from there. Rest Talk means that we have some kind of longevity against choice bandits. Urshifu, we can't just stay in and keep clicking the poison jab unless he gets the poison. Then that's the only way he kind of breaks this set, and if that's the case, then it's unfortunate, but we do a good amount of damage with 2 lots of Rocky Helmet, 2 or 3 depending on like how the game's going. Like 1 U-turn into 2 poison jabs will do enough. So potentially I need to bring it in on something else to get that rest up, but we'll have to play accordingly when the situation arises. Next up we've got our Zygarde, which is again fully physically defensive or near enough. 1000 arrows, toxic sub protect. I know that Matt got some pretty unfair abuse from some other people in the comments section because he brought sub toxic protect Raikou against Seabad. I'm bringing the same set, and if I get shit for it, then I get shit for it. It's very good in this game. Its ability to be able to kind of set up a sub on things like the Thwackey, things like Moltres, Raikou, is really invaluable. Toxic is fantastic in this game. His switch-ins do not include Metagross and do not include Haunter, his poison type. So just being able to click Toxic on anything on his team is so big. Being able to break through potential Swampert, potential Moltres, potential Thwackey is amazing, and if Thwackey does turn up, I do expect it to be a switch-in. Only Wood Hammer will be able to break my sub, and Grassy Glide will not be able to. Unless he's like Adamant Max Tackle or something along those lines. There is like no way of Thwackey actually breaking my sub. Unless I've done my calcs wrong, I don't know. But yeah, we should be able to kind of Toxic Stall Thwackey. We should be able to really kind of wear away his team for my late game win con to hopefully come in and just kind of clean things up. But yeah, Zygarde is really just here to kind of be annoying and spread statuses. 1000 arrows is just, again, pretty spammable against his team. If Thwackey goes down, he doesn't have the amazing switch-ins to it. So yeah, just being able to spam 1000 arrows later on in the game could be really good as well. Next up we've got our Galarian Slowking with the Assault Vest as always. Defensive build this week instead of Spadef. We do have good Spadef investment as well, but I felt like it was kind of necessary for me to run defense this week. Mainly to be able to deal with things like the Metagross and a potential Diamond Storm Diancie. I felt like it was just safe. Also, we do live a burned Urshifu's Wicked Blow, which, albeit a very kind of niche situation. It's still one that could arise if I decide to sack off my Heatran to Urshifu and get the burn. Then yeah, that is amazing for me. But Sludge Bomb, Psyshock, Scald, and Foul Play this week is the 4 moves I've chosen. It's pretty much the best coverage I could kind of go for in this game. Sludge Bomb hits a lot of his things neutrally. Psyshock also hits a lot of things neutrally. Scald is amazing for burns, especially on his most likely switch-ins being Metagross. And I guess Cryogonal is also a potential switch-in. The burn would actually suck on that a little bit, but Psyshock should be able to 2-hit KO any Cryogonal set. Unless it's fully like Fizz Death. That's the only way he actually doesn't. If we're able to get a poison with Sludge Bomb on it, then it will become a 2-hit KO regardless. Foul Play does at least 50% to Metagross, so it's our way of being able to hit that for really, really good damage if it switches in, and we see it's like AV or something from the initial Scald. Yeah, Foul Play is doing a lot of damage. This is just my general special sponge. He doesn't have amazing amount of special attackers. So really this is like a good switch into Diancie, to Raikou, to Moltres. And if he does decide to start like trying to pivot around with Urshifu and Raikou, I do put him in a position where he has to start trying making predictions, because if he keeps just pivoting, he's getting nowhere. If anything, he's losing health. So yeah, it's kind of nice that I can just kind of pivot around those two fairly freely. I say fairly freely because he could also just go for a poison jab on any given turn. But yeah, Slowking just looks really nice as a special sponge in this game. Next up we have our hopefully late game win con in our Urshifu, our Pangoro. Also Dark Fighting versus Dark Fighting this week, we see which one's best. What's funny is in the week 1 of BBR last season, we had Keldeo versus Urshifu Rapid Strike, and we were joking about whose water fighting is better. Well, you know, I got Pangoro, so this season is whose dark fighting is better. But Choice Scarf Pangoro with Adamant Nature, Max Speed. I believe this is to outspeed a Raikou, or at least like Raikou creeping a Lycanroc. If he's not creeping Lycanroc, yikes, it is what it is. But I couldn't go any quicker unless I went Jolly, and honestly I prefer the Adamant damage. It does mean that after Stealth Rocks potentially on Moltres, we'll be able to 2-hit KO with Close Combat, as long as we don't get burned. If we do get burned, then we do have the Facade. Close Combat, Knockoff, Stone Edge and Facade is my moves for this week. Honestly, Close Combat just kind of goes in against his team. His Ghost type is Haunter, and I don't think Haunter wants to switch in unless it's really sure that it's going to go for Close Combat. Honestly, nothing on his team really appreciates it. His Fairy type is neutral to it. His Psychic type is neutral to it. And outside of that, we've got Knockoff, just to knock off items, of course. Stone Edge, Oko the Moltres. And then Facade is nice if we do get burned by the Moltres on any given turn, or by like a Swampert Scald burn, something along those lines. Then we're in a position where we can just spam Facade, and Facade should be pretty good late game. Again, if Haunter doesn't turn up, Metagross is down, Diancie's down, Facade does hit everything for really, really good damage. And last up we've got one of our tier 5s. We're bringing Pinsir this week. Pinsir's coming to finals. Heavy duty boots with an Adamant Nature and a Moxie ability. Honestly, there was no other ability that made sense. Much with Pangoro. Pangoro's got Iron Fist. Despite the fact that that was actually meant to be scrappy. Yes, so that was meant to be scrappy, so I could spam Close Combat. If he brings Haunter, that's going to be really quite annoying, but we cross that bridge when we come to it. I might get it regened quickly. And yeah, but with Pinsir, it didn't make any sense for us to run anything other than Moxie this week. Hypercutter, he doesn't have an Intimidate user, and Mold Breaker, we're not running any moves that would benefit Mold Breaker, so X is a knockoff Toxic and Stealth Rock. This is just kind of a nice primary switch into things like the Swampert and into Thwackey. I'm able to check those two pretty well. It would be kind of annoying if we get knocked off on by Thwackey, but at the same time, if I have like Zygarde in, I don't think he ever clicks knockoff on a sub Zygarde, so we can effectively bring this in kind of for free and click knockoff. Toxic is really nice for things like the Swampert and the Moltres, and Stealth Rock is great if we can get the Stealth Rock up and then knock off the Moltres. then it's going to take him 50% every time it switches in, and it's not able to check my Pangoro nearly as well if it does that. So yeah, this is really just kind of here not to win the game, but it can certainly cause some issues. If he does bring the bulk up Resto Chesto Swampert, this thing kind of forces, or hopefully will force, a rest by Toxicking. He needs to get up to +3, I believe, to be able to knock me out with Ice Punch. It may even be +4. So we know we can at least take one hit and we can force a rest. If we are able to knock off his Chesto Berry, then that's just an incredible situation for us. Because once he's used rest, he will then have to take those 2 turns, and we go into our Heatran, and we can click Soda Beam should we be able, should we see the situation arise that we need to. So Pinsir's really kind of here to help out with that set. It also is pretty good for crippling potentially Moltres. Not very good for things like Thwackey as well. And if we absolutely need to, we can take a hit from Urshifu. I think as long as it's not choice banded, we should be able to take a hit. And X's will do a good amount in return. We can also knock off just to make sure our Tapu Fini is a better check to it. We could also Toxic if we really felt like that was the kind of play. This could also be a switch into the Metagross should we need it to be. Knockoff will be doing about 50% to max HP. So yeah, it's kind of got a decent role in this game. I went back and forth over Greedent, whether I wanted Rotom Fan. Lycanroc also had a fantastic matchup, but I didn't want something so frail in this matchup, just because despite the fact that Lycanroc can pretty much just spam its stab in this game, I just didn't feel like it was it was just really hard to kind of get it in and doing damage. I felt like Pinsir just kind of came in on things a little bit better, and still did a good amount of work in this game. Lycanroc just became setup fodder for Swampert, whilst Pinsir avoids that with the set that I got. So yeah, that's going to be the team. Hopefully we can pick up a win in finals. I am probably already later. I'm a little bit later our scheduled time, so I do apologise, Matt, if you're watching this. But yeah, it's going to be a team. Hopefully we can pick up the championship. Like I said, if we don't, we don't. But yeah, I'm going to go and connect to my opponent, and I will see you guys there. Yo, what's up guys, Gray here, and today we have got our finals battle for the BBR Season 3 against MattOshea and his Montreal Milotics. He has had a fantastic season. He was 9-3 in a regular season plus 32. We were 8-4 plus 15. If you did miss Team Builder, make sure to go check that out, so you can see why I'm bringing what I'm bringing. But I have already joined my opponent enough to this point. Go very quickly, just flick through the sets so you can see, if you did miss Team Builder, what they are. That's going to be the team we're bringing. Let's get straight into this. Yeah, we're just going to go off of what 6 we see. I think my prep is decent. But yeah, here we go. We'll go from 1 to 5-2. You can tell, a little bit nervous for this one. A little bit nervous indeed. Good luck, have fun to my opponent. Hopefully it's not a haxy game. If we can just have a nice clean game, that'd be fantastic. We're going to press A, we're going to get straight into this. Say straight into this. There we go. A little bit of delay, hopefully we don't disconnect, that would just be the worst. Okay, so he does bring the Haunter, that is the worst case scenario, but what does he not bring? He doesn't bring the Moltres, so his switch-ins to close combat don't really exist. He does bring the Swampert, Metagross, Urshifu, does bring Diancie as well. So there's a lot of pressure on my Slowking actually to be able to take those hits. He's missing something else that I definitely expected to turn up. But this is definitely a different team to what I was expecting. I still kind of feel like I want to lead. He didn't bring a single defogger, so I can actually set up rocks early. Do I want to set up rocks early? I definitely want to get him up early, but at the same time, I feel like he might be able to read that lead. I think I kind of just want to lead it off with my Galarian Slowking. And just go from there, see what he wants to lead off with. Because I think that he might lead off with Diancie. If he leads off with Diancie, then, well, he's going to set up rocks. There's nothing we can do about that. But, yeah, I think that's what I want to go with. Yeah, good luck, have fun to Matt. He's had a fantastic season, and I said in Team Builder a couple of times, win or lose, I'm happy with the season that I had. Also a big shout out to Olivia for playing his battles basically for him. Like, he obviously makes all the moves, but she's been fantastic all season and done the battles. Whilst he's had issues, it's actually an ideal lead, because I don't think he wants to take a potential Psyshock. Do I just want to go for a foul play on his first turn? How much is a foul play doing to Haunter? Because I know he doesn't necessarily have the best. I mean, Psyshock would kill. Shadow Ball is going to do a lot of damage, especially if he's Life Orb. But I don't expect him to want to stay in here. Foul Play is effectively a 2-hit KO regardless, as is Scold actually. I'm going to click Foul Play. So yeah, just go straight out for the shot. If I had clicked Psyshock, this would have died. But it's not Life Orb, so that's good news. We can Foul Play this. And we do about half. Another Shadow Ball is going to hurt. But I think... do I just want to go for... I could just go for this again. I think Psyshock is fine. Like, it's going to weaken me, but I'm probably going to switch out on the next turn regardless. So... I have no reason really to not foul play again, so I'm going to click Psyshock. On the off chance that he switches out, he actually just goes for the Dazzling Gleam. So that's like best case scenario. We're going to take down Haunter super early on. Yeah, Haunter goes down. But we are weakened, so the regen should be able to get most of that health back. Glad he didn't go for Shadow Ball again. Like, that second Shadow Ball would have hurt, but he wasn't... Was he Choice Scar? No, he wasn't Choice Scar. He just changed moves. That's just Finals nerves. So it's a solid start, but like, he still has plenty of threats on his team. Like, Metagross is certainly scary. We'll see what he wants to go into. I think he was definitely expecting me to want to go out into like Zygarde or maybe Pangoro. But I saw no reason really there to make that switch. I'd rather take the damage on Slowking and have a little bit less for Diancie. Diancie could be annoying, especially if it's like a Rock Polish weakness policy set. I didn't really think of that. But Diancie's going to come in now. And I mean, it shouldn't be able to do enough damage to me. Realistically, it shouldn't. Do I just want to Scold here? I think I'm quite happy to just click Scold. Scout out his set a little bit. Like, Scold should do 25 to 30, be especially defensive. But I expect the rocks to come out here. Potentially an Earth Power, but we should take an Earth Power unless it's really offensive. Same with Dive and Storm, like, we should take that unless he is like super offensive. Goes for the Calm Mind. Okay, that's a little bit worrying. That is certainly a little bit worrying. We're going for Scold. Can scout this damage. Probably not going to be too much. Against Calm Mind. Honestly, don't have too much for this. So, maybe Shucker? Is it like going to be Calm Mind Rest? I think I'm going to go for Sludge Bomb just to try and get that poison. Rock Polish. Calm Mind, Rock Polish. Yeah, if I can get a poison on this, that'd be amazing. Literally be best case scenario. Don't get a poison. Gonna click it again. Because what's gonna have? Earth Power. Like +1 at Earth Power. This might knock me out. No, we're actually just gonna live. Get off another Sludge Bomb. Can we get a poison? Still no poison. That's unlucky. Don't have too much else to really deal with this, so it's going to be Earth Power Moonblast. That's going to be rough for me to try and deal with. Yeah, that's not going to be fun. I don't want my Feeny to be weakened. Can I just let this go at this point? Like, honestly, yes. Yeah, I can. I've got some good damage off on it. I think this is going to be, like, very offensive. Just goes to the Earth Power again. +1, that's going to do far too much to that. Yeah, this set is annoying. I have Scold, it's at +1 special defense as well. Scold probably won't knock it out. Moonblast is a 2-hit KO on me. Does my Zygarde live this? Zygarde does not live that. So I kind of don't have too much choice here. I think I have to go into Tapu Fini, which really kind of sucks. Yeah, I think I have to go Tapu Fini. Wishing I had Surf at this point. Like, just getting a poison would have been just so nice on those turns, but yeah, Moonblast is doing a lot of damage to me. Draining Kiss, that's worse, but it's going to take Rocky Helmet. So it's going to gain a lot back, but it's also going to take Rocky Helmet. And it's going to take the Scold, and hopefully we get a burn. That still does a lot of damage. No burn though. No burn. Do I just want to rest? I can rest later. I think just getting rid of this is a bigger thing for me. Yeah, it just gives me Earth Power. We're able to take that hit relatively well. I'm not sure what I can rest up on now though, which sucks. But we are slowly getting rid of the things that can take close combat. So at this point I need damage on... what do I need damage on? Losing this much health from Feeny kind of sucked. Maybe I should have gone for rest on that turn. But just on the off chance that like I didn't get rolls on Sleep Talk, it was just not worth it. But that was a big threat to my team. That set was really, really scary for me. He could go into Metagross here. Could definitely go Metagross. I don't have too much to be able to deal with that. Goes out into the Thwackey. Okay. Goes out to Thwackey. He doesn't have amazing ways to deal with Pinsir at this point. So I could just go into Pinsir. He doesn't have rocks, so losing my heavy duty boots is really not the end of the world. We don't see Grassy Seed either, so it's probably not an acrobatic set. So I'm going out into my Pinsir. Can definitely just click U-turn, but like I said, he doesn't really have too many things now on his team that take these hits particularly well. Just goes for knockoff, that's fine. We are relatively physically defensive. And he doesn't have great switch-ins now to an X-Scissor at all. So yeah, I just click an X-Scissor. His switch-in maybe a Swampert. Maybe Metagross. I think it's probably going to be Swampert. I could have gone into my Zygarde there and set up a sub. He would have probably struggled. He just clicked U-turn, so he is fast. He is quick. But we'll get some grassy terrain recovery and see what he wants to go into. If it's the Metagross, we need to just kind of see how much damage we do with our attack. Yeah, X-Scissor to max HP, doing 30 to 36. Goes into the Urshifu actually, so that's going to take a fairly big chunk. Yeah, like, that's decent damage. I take that. I would definitely take that damage. I want to keep this thing around. I still feel like it's got a use in this game. I mean, it's very unfortunate that I'm so weakened on my Tapu Fini. It's very unfortunate that we're so weakened on Tapu Fini. He can just go for... I mean, realistically, what is my Heatran doing at this point? Not a massive amount. Do I want to keep the Heatran? I don't think he clicks close combat here. I don't think Heatran is necessary for this game either. So I think either he goes for Poison Jab or he goes for U-turn. Maybe Wicked Blow on this turn. Just goes for U-turn. If I can get the burn, that could be game changing. We do not. Unfortunate. The burn would have been really nice there. And if you see the Swampert come in, I think I just want to click... the sub initially. See if he wants to stay in or not. Because at this point he doesn't switch into Heatran well at all. But I mean, if the Swampert is faster, like, we're in the grassy terrain as well, so there's no chance he lives the Solar Beam. And because we go up to full, I don't think he knows whether or not. So I'm just going to click sub. If he has Choice Scarf or fast, very unfortunate. But yeah, I'm going to sub on the Protect. Okay, that's amazing. That's actually like best case scenario for me. Now I could throw off a Magma Storm if I wanted to. Could throw off a Magma Storm. I mean, because I'm behind a sub, I don't think anything on his team will take Magma Storm plus a Solar Beam. I'm just going to throw off a Solar Beam. If he switches, he switches. Okay, he doesn't, so this should knock out the Swampert. Swampert should go down here. And we're behind a sub, which is incredible. That is actually incredible for us. Yeah, there's no world in grassy terrain that he actually lives this unless he is Focus Sash. Which he's not. Okay, Swampert goes down. Right, Pangoro is looking better and better. I think winning this game though, we need to hit Magma Storms. Unfortunately, I think we have to hit Magma Storms. Which is not ideal. Not ideal, I will say. But if we hit our Magma Storms, I think we win this game. I think we do win this game. So, no reason here to click anything other than Magma Storm. Go and click Drain Punch. If we connect, then we do knock out the Urshifu. It could be AV, considering he's running Drain Punch. Can we connect the Magma Storm? We've not connected any of these all season. Please, can we connect? We do, okay. The Urshifu should go down unless it's a Assault Vest. Okay, it lives, but it's going to go down to the trap. So, that's good. That's real good. That's actually amazing for us. Pinsir can deal with the Thwackey, or Pinsir and Zygarde combined. So I'm just going to click Magma Storm on this turn. I'm just going to click Magma Storm. And if we lose our Heatran here, I'm kind of fine with that. As long as we connect, I'll be happy. Stomping Tantrum, okay. So we're going to lose our Heatran, but honestly, that's fine by me. I can also just go into my Pangoro, I believe. Pangoro to Metagross. Knockoff won't knock it out. Won't knock it out, that's a little bit unfortunate. That's if it's max HP. If it's weakness policy, I at least want to weaken it first. If it's weakness policy, I want to weaken it first. I think I can go into... Wait, no, it outsped my Heatran, so it's fast. It will outspeed that. Click close combat, but no. I think I've got to click knockoff and just hope that it's not weakness policy. Agility. Just got to hope that it's not weakness policy. Agility. I think that is my only play at this point. We should live any one hit. After that, it just goes for Stomping Tantrum again. Is it Choice Banded? It's Choice Scarf, actually. It outsped me. It's Choice Scarf. That's a crit. That's annoying. We actually lived 2 of those, no problem. But that's actually going to knock it out. And I think we're going to win, because I don't think his Thwackey can take down the rest of my team. So it's just the Thwackey that's left. So he was Choice Scarf. We got a roll on that knockoff, but he got a crit, so I think it's only fair. I'm going to knock off again. Like, for sure he can Grassy Glide, but I don't have any reason to switch out. I don't have any reason at all to switch out. So yeah, I'm just going to click knock off. If he doesn't have Grassy Glide, then this is going to do a lot of damage. I think he just Grassy Glide to knock me out. Yep. And I'm going to go into Pinsir, and Pinsir should be able to live any one hit. And X-Scissor should be able to knock it out. And I think that will be the game. I think. I'm hoping. So yeah, we're just going to click X-Scissor. I don't think this has anything that can knock us out at this point. I don't think it has anything that can knock me out. Pinsir came in big in this game. Really did. He brought a different team to what I was expecting. The Haunter on first turn, like, that thing was scary. That was super scary. He was quicker than me with a lot of his mons, so my speed creeps weren't really on point, I'll say. He's going to SD. I don't think it's going to matter. I honestly don't think this matters. Unless it's weakness policy. It does live that hit. I think my Zygarde regardless can live one. I don't know. We'll have to see. Like, knockoff or U-turn probably knocks us out from here. Grassy Glide. Does that knock me out? It doesn't. So you're going to knock out a Thwackey. And your Vancouver Titangs are BBR Season 3 champions. You'll love to see it. Good game to Matt. Also shout out to Liv, like I said, for playing those games. We're going to pick up the 3-0 win. And yeah. I don't really know what to say. I've never won a league before, so yeah, good game to Matt. Make sure to go check out his side of the battle, of course. Go and show him some love. Yeah, what else can I say? We had a really good run. I think in the regular season we definitely had a few games where we could have played better. Starting off 0-2, not the ideal start, but we went on a hell of a run to be able to make it to playoffs, and we had a really close game against Howler. We had a really close game against Davion, and yeah, fantastic game in the final. We brought some very, very good sets, some very scary sets, but fortunately we were able to pull through. Zygarde didn't hit the field at all in that game, but sometimes it'd be like that. Good game to Matt, and he doesn't get his back-to-back BBR championships. It's actually kind of funny how last season, like the first season Gen 8 Wi-Fi, we played him week 1 and we were able to pick up the win, showing that Keldeo was the superior water fighting. In this game, Pangoro beats the Urshifu. We actually hit our Magma Storms, and that's how we won. Effectively, that's how we won that game, because we actually hit Magma Storms, which we haven't done all season. Heatran was saving it up for this last game, but I'm not going to ramble on anymore. I'm probably going to do a post-season recap, kind of go over each game and what I did right, what I did wrong, all that sort of thing. So yeah, make sure to check that out if I do it eventually. If you did enjoy the battle, please do leave a like and subscribe, because I actually won a championship, so yeah, you gotta like for that. But until the next one, have a great day, guys. Peace.